Okay, so this is Mr. Grimslin here. We are talking about India and the empires that come up in India after the Indus River Valley civilization kind of declines. We're going to see these two big empires kind of sprout up in its place. So we'll talk about that. Obviously, when we talk about India, we want to make note of the Indus River here, the Ganges River as well. The Hindu Kush Mountains are going to be up top here to the northwest, and the Himalayas to the northeast. So these provide natural barriers, natural protection for these civilizations to emerge. And when we talk about Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, which are two important cities in India, remember last unit we talked about how important it was for cities in India to be near the water because they used levees to control the water flow. They had irrigation. They had sewage and plumbing, which was another big thing. So they had bathrooms, baths, that kind of thing. The other big thing about the cities in India was they have a grid system. So every city is laid out on a grid system, and it makes sense as far as where it's laid out. It's not just sprawled out all over the place. So Aryan influence. Once that Indus River Valley civilization declines, these guys called the Aryans come in. They're going to move in from the northwest, and they're going to spread all over India. They're going to assert dominance. So that means they're going to take control. They're going to kind of establish their reign, and they're going to bring with them the caste system and the Vedic texts. Okay, these are two things that are associated with Hinduism now. And we can trace the roots of this all the way back to when the Aryans kind of came in from the northwest and asserted dominance. So what you need to know is the Aryans came in, they kind of took over India, asserted dominance, and they brought with them the caste system and the Vedic texts, which are important in the Hindu culture. Okay, so we're moving on a little later here, and around probably about 300 BC, we start seeing the Mauryan Empire pop up. It's going to happen in the wake of the fall of Alexander the Great's empire. So Alexander the Great, his empire will fall, and then India is going to become united by the Mauryan dynasty. And the greatest ruler from this dynasty was Ashoka. You need to know who he is. He is important for a lot of reasons. One of them is that he embraces Buddhism, and he renounces war and violence. So the reason he actually embraces Buddhism is because while he was taking over the kind of uniting India and conquering India, he took place in a battle of, it's called the Battle of Kalinga, and he witnessed almost 200,000 people die. So he was very upset by this, and after this he renounced war and violence, and he thought that wars should only be fought for just reasons and moral reasons, not just for conquering. You should have a reason why you're fighting a war, and it should be a moral reason. So he's going to embrace Buddhism, renounce war and violence. He's going to be religiously tolerant, and then some other things that are important about the Mauryans and Ashoka as well. Half century of peace and prosperity leads to a strong economy. Usually this is the case with civilizations when they're left alone, and they don't have to worry about wars and famine and strife and these big issues. You'll see economies start getting stronger because they can focus their time on developing the economy. You're going to see development of trade routes with Greece, kind of along that Silk Road that we talked about with Persia. And not only are they trading goods, they're also trading ideas, and kind of cultural diffusion is what we call it, the spread of culture. They spread Buddhism, they spread religion. We have good roads, of course, free hospitals, and veterinarian clinics, which are going to be kind of innovations during this time. So now we're moving on to the Guptas. After about 500 years of turmoil, Chandragupta will establish the Gupta Empire in 320 CE. So remember, the CE means AD basically. So this is after the year 0. We're moving up in the years now. And it's going to be centered around the Ganges River. It's going to last until about 500 CE. And it's going to be the golden age of classical Indian culture. So what do we mean when we say golden age? It basically means kind of the prime or the best moment in that culture's existence. So this period from about 320 to 500 CE was kind of the pinnacle of Indian culture. The advances in technology, advances in math, advances in just the economy, peace and prosperity. it's a really good time to live in India during this time. Some of the achievements of the Guptas, we're going to see a resurgence of Hinduism now. So with the Mauryans and Ashoka, it was Buddhism. Now with the Guptas and Chandragupta, who is the leader, the main guy for the Guptas, Chandragupta, he's going to bring with him Hinduism, okay? So the invention of modern numerals, the concept of zero, calculated pi, these are all mathematical advancements. They figured out that the Earth was round, which is a big advancement in astronomy. They figured this out about 1,000 years before Europeans figured it out. They had medical advances, new literature, textiles, which are basically manufactured goods, and they're going to make all these sorts of advancements, which is why it's a golden age. Now, if you want to make a note, just kind of comparing and contrasting the Mauryans and the Guptas, I would definitely want to know that the Mauryan Empire was ruled. The most famous ruler was Ashoka, and they spread Buddhism. And I would definitely know that the Guptas, it was Chandragupta was the big leader, and he spread Hinduism. Alright, so remember you can always pause these videos and look back, move around however you need to. So these will definitely help you out when you're studying.